Fallout is a franchise that likely needs no introduction. This post-apocalyptic role-playing series has been around for over 20 years, and it shows no sign of stopping. What was once a somewhat niche isometric RPG is now one of the biggest video game series of all time. With a history as long as Fallout's, there's bound to be some interesting points in the timeline. Today, I'm looking at Fallout Van Buren, the cancelled game that could have changed the entire series. As a fan of the Fallout franchise, I've always been interested in learning more about the history and development of these iconic games. That's why I'm diving into Fallout Van Buren, the cancelled third installment in the series that never made it to release. From its beginnings as a true sequel to Fallout 2, to its eventual cancellation and impact on the franchise, we'll be exploring all aspects of this lost chapter in the Fallout saga. Fallout Van Buren is really a fascinating piece of video game history. Originally planned as a sequel to Fallout 2, it was cancelled in 2003 before it could be released. Despite this, its legacy has lived on, and it continues to be a topic of interest for both Fallout fans and video game historians alike. The development of Fallout Van Buren began in the late 1990s, shortly after the release of Fallout 2. The game was being developed by Black Isle Studios, the same team that brought us the first two Fallout games. The original concept for Van Buren was to create a game that would be a true sequel to Fallout 2, while also improving upon the gameplay mechanics and graphics of the previous games. The game was to be set in the year 2253, several years after the events of Fallout 2, and would feature a new protagonist and a new storyline. One of the key features of Van Buren was its focus on choice and consequences. The game was designed to allow players to make decisions that would have a significant impact on the game's storyline and even the ending. The game was also to feature a reputation system that would track the player's actions and reputation with various factions in the game world. Another significant aspect of Van Buren was its setting. The original story and setting of Fallout Van Buren were some of the most intriguing aspects of the game. Set in the American Southwest, the game was to feature a new protagonist known only as a prisoner, who had been locked up in a high-security prison known as the Blackfoot Tribe's Prison. The prisoner's mission was to escape the prison and uncover the secrets of the mysterious new disease known only as the New Plague. The game was also to feature a conflict between two major factions in the Fallout universe, the NCR and the Brotherhood of Steel. The conflict between these two factions was to be one of the central themes of Van Buren's storyline. The NCR were attempting to expand their territory into the Southwest, while the Brotherhood was trying to prevent them from doing so. The player would have to choose which side to support, and the choices they made would have a significant impact on the game's ending. In addition to the NCR and the Brotherhood, there were several other factions that were to be featured in Van Buren. These included the Blackfoot Tribe, a group of raiders known as the Hangdogs, and the Militant Reaver Movement. The setting of the game was also to be a major aspect of its storyline. The American Southwest was to be depicted as a harsh, unforgiving place filled with dangerous creatures and hostile factions. The player would have to navigate this environment, scavenging for supplies and making alliances with various factions in order to survive. Overall, the original story and setting of Fallout Van Buren were some of the most intriguing aspects of the game. The conflict between the NCR and the Brotherhood, the mysterious New Plague, and the harsh setting of the American Southwest would have made for a compelling and immersive experience. While the game was never released, its ideas and concepts have made a lasting impact on the Fallout franchise. Unfortunately, the development of Van Buren was plagued by a variety of issues, including financial difficulties and internal conflicts at Black Isle Studios. These issues ultimately led to the cancellation of the game in 2003. The Fallout franchise remained dormant until the release of Fallout 3 in 2008. The cancellation of Fallout Van Buren was one of the most unfortunate events in the series' history. The game had been in development for several years and had generated a significant amount of excitement among fans of the series. There were a number of factors that led to the cancellation of Van Buren. One of the primary reasons was financial difficulties at Interplay Productions, the parent company of Black Isle Studios. Interplay was struggling financially at the time and was forced to cut back on its development projects in order to save money. Another factor that led to the cancellation was internal conflicts at Black Isle Studios. There were disagreements among the development team about the direction the game should take, and these conflicts ultimately led to the departure of several key members of the team. Despite these issues, the cancellation of Van Buren was a significant blow to Fallout fans. Many had been eagerly anticipating the release of the game and were disappointed when it was cancelled. In the years that followed, there was much speculation about what could have been if the game had been released. In the wake of the cancellation, many of the assets and materials that had been developed for Van Buren were released to the public. This allowed fans to get a glimpse of what the game might have been, and has helped keep the legacy of Van Buren alive. Even though the game was never released, its impact on the Fallout franchise is still felt to this day. Van Buren has inspired a number of fan-made projects and mods. There have been several attempts to create unofficial versions of the game using the materials that were released after the cancellation. These projects have helped keep the legacy of Van Buren alive. Van Buren has also become a topic of fascination for video game and lost media historians. Its development process, cancellation, and legacy have been the subject of numerous articles, videos, and podcasts, and it continues to be a source of discussion and speculation amongst fans of the Fallout franchise today. Overall, the legacy of Fallout Van Buren is a testament to the enduring appeal of the Fallout franchise, as well as the creativity and passion of the fans. While it may never be officially released, its impact on the world of video games is sure to be felt for years to come. And that's some of the history of Fallout Van Buren. While the game may have been cancelled, its legacy lives on through the influences it had on the Fallout franchise, the fan-made projects, and the mods that inspired it. What do you think about Fallout Van Buren? Are you disappointed it was cancelled, or do you think it was for the best? Would it have been better than the Fallout 3 we did get in 2008? Let me know in the comments. If you did like this video, subscribing really helps me out a lot. That's all from me, thanks for watching, have a good day.
It's like, I make video games. What kind? The kind where you shoot people? Yeah, kind of. Are they really violent? Like, where's it set? In DC? Oh, that's cute. Yeah, it's all blown up. And then they just turn around, they don't want to talk to you anymore.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.